Another tip I would say is start easy. It can be a chapter or two with a team of other people, and you have that collaborative effort. You have deadlines. They're all helping you move forward. And then everybody's marketing it with you. That just makes the whole job a lot easier, especially if it's your first book.
Hey everyone, it's Jenn Foster here with the Elite Publishing Podcast. I'm really excited today because we have Mark Willis here with us, and he's a 3-time international best-selling author, and we're really excited. He's coming to us from Chicago area, and he is a financial planner, a certified financial planner, and his books have been off the charts selling, and he has written a new one that's coming out as well called The Fortress. So let's dive right in. Thanks for being here, Mark.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks, Jen, for having me.
Yeah. Tell us the title again, because I think I messed it up, of The Fortress. What is it
Oh,
called?
sure. Yeah, I'm still learning it too because it's brand new. It's a brand new book. It's not
Yeah.
even quite out yet. And you were already giving me some wonderful tips on just improving the cover so it pops. And I really appreciate that. The name of our new book, including the subtitle, is The Business Fortress. The Business Fortress: How to Grow, Protect, and Exit Your Business with Confidence. And that's a co-author with me and David C. Barnett.
Awesome. Awesome. We're really excited to dive into some of the content of the book today, as well as ask you a little bit about how you wrote the book and how you published it. So let's start with, why did you want to write a book? What made you think, I'm
Yeah,
going to write a book today?
it was a fantastic. It's been now 12 years since my first book. I can't believe it. I was just looking at the title here, and I'm looking
Wow.
at my cover on the first book, and I look like a little sapling, little tiny little guy, because I was so young in the business. So I was a financial planner, not at the beginning of my career, pretty early on in my late 20s. I switched over to being a financial professional and then became a certified financial planner. Why write this book? I really felt like in the business world, there's a lot of advice telling you to just do all your awesome entrepreneur stuff over here, but then be a normal invested stock market, hold it forever and let us charge you a fee on it kind of investor. That troubled me. Plus, just the philosophy of taking a risk asset, your business, and coupling it with another risk asset, which is non-guaranteed stocks, which are highly volatile and getting more so as we enter into a brave new world here. So I thought there has to be better ways, specifically for the business owner, to grow, protect, thrive in their business, but also have a financial tool that could be safe, but also couple and add value to their business at the same time. So that's why I wrote the book, co-authored with David Barnett, who is a consultant for business owners and entrepreneurs. He's up in Canada, but he works across the border, you might say, and does mostly US clients. And he's worked in this world for decades, and just a great privilege to get to work with him as well.
Awesome. It sounds like this book is needed, but it sounds like your first book you knew was going to help you to brand yourself and get your personal branding out there so people knew who you were and know and trust you. So I'm glad that you are on board with that and knew how books work.
That's
So
right. We
that's
had
awesome.
we worked with a group who brought a number of authors together, and so I just had to write a short portion of the book. And
Mhm.
that's another tip I would say is start easy. It can be a chapter or two with a team of other people, and you have that collaborative effort. You have deadlines. They're all
Mhm.
helping you move forward, and then everybody's marketing it with you. That just makes the whole job a lot easier, especially if it's your first book.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's what I did for my first book too. I was with Dan Kennedy on a marketing book, and writing a chapter in the book and having a deadline really helped, because there's lots of life stuff that was going on at the time, which I'm sure there's always life stuff going on. Yeah, I think it's a key to start there, start small, and then get your next book out. So how did you write your chapter? Curious about
Well,
that.
in that first book from
Yeah.
12, how did I write it? It's
Yeah.
hard
Did you
to.
just sit down and type?
I took a number of, I just said, all right, what are the 6 different core lessons that I've learned in my time? And at that point, it was only a few years of experience in planning and whatnot. And so I told my own personal story about how I was mired in student loan debt and for helping pay off that debt. And not only that, but also prepare for our future and retirement at the exact same time with the same money. So that kind of mind-bending concept I wanted to tell the world about, because I shared it with me and I wanted to share it with others. So it was easy
Yeah.
once you start to share your own story to just let that flow.
Yeah. Just started writing and telling your story, and it came out. And then how did you write your last book? Did you use AI or talk the book, or was it just simply the same way that you did it the first time?
Technically, yeah. What I found recently is I'm a verbal processor. You probably couldn't tell, but I talk out my thoughts. It's true. And so using voice to text was very helpful. And
Yeah.
then I have to go back and use Grammarly to fix the typos. And that's been a big help. And then, of course, we have copywriters and more, or
Mhm.
copy editors and more. We did a little bit of AI to help us just trim up. Okay, can you give me a table from what I'm saying here in this paragraph? Can you make a table for this or whatever? That part was actually very fun and helpful.
Nice.
But we
Uh-huh.
really did make it our voice, tried to make it human as possible. So not a
Yeah.
lot of just pure text being written by AI.
I like that. Yeah, that's how I wrote my first book that I did by myself. Was I used talk to
Mhm.
text, or I actually ended up doing I had a videographer come and video me, and then I transcribed those videos and
Great.
then
Oh,
edited
great.
them and did the
Yeah.
whole thing like you talked about the whole process. But now we use Otter.ai, which is a good
Yeah.
transcripting app, or there's a bunch of them now out there. I
I'll
think
tell
we
you
use
the
yeah. Which one did you use?
Oh, no, that part is great. I'm happy to hear about the transcripting tool. I do like those. What I found is the regular practice of doing a podcast. We've got over 400 episodes on our show, Not Your Average Financial Podcast. Subscribing. But the best part was because I've been writing outlines for those episodes, it was easy for me to take 7 or 8 or 10 of those episodes and then elaborate them a little bit more into several parts of the book.
I love that because repurposing your content is key, especially if you're already doing the podcast. And then just adding stories, filling in the holes, finding out what else you can add in there to make it a really good book that really has the content and the meat that people are looking for. That's a great way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. But you were
Yeah.
saying so you use transcription, so you would just speak into a microphone and just kind of write your book that way.
Yeah, of course I had the chapter outlines already, and now AI has been helping with that for some of our
Mhm.
authors. But back in the day, I didn't. I just brainstormed and came up with the chapter outlines. But
Yeah,
we also did. You can do the 10 frequent asked questions or that type of thing, or 10 should ask questions. But that's
yeah.
not the same as telling your story. It's a different type of book.
Tell me more about that. What are should ask questions? I've never heard of that before.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you have the questions people come to and ask all the time about your business, about you. And those are the frequent asked questions. Like you get them over and over. But then the should ask questions are the questions that they should ask you. If they only knew this about you, then they should be asking you this. And
Mm.
that's the should ask question.
Oh, that's
Right.
good.
Yeah. So we have a little formula when we're helping people write that's do the 10 frequent asked questions, 10 should ask questions, and then come up with 1 to 3 stories for each one or examples. It doesn't have to be your own personal story because sometimes, like you said in your first book, you only had 6 years under your belt. Then maybe you're using someone else's story, but putting in your thoughts and ideas about it. So that's
Absolutely.
how we help people write. But I love that you repurposed your podcast. A lot of people are doing that with their blog posts as well. So let's dive into the cover right now. So how did you publish last time you had a collaboration book? So they just took care of everything. This new book, are you going to be traditionally publishing it, self-publishing it, hybrid? What did you guys do?
My co-author is my Batman here. I'm Robin, you might say. He has done Kindle publishing, has written, I think he said this will be his 13th book. So we'll be doing a campaign for marketing and using some traditional ads, Facebook and more. But then we're going
Mhm.
on a blitz. We haven't done this yet. This is fortuitous that I'm on this podcast today doing this, but he and I are going to be doing a blitz of podcasts to speak about the book. And then, of course, we're going to let our clients know about it, let our email list know about it, do some special lives on YouTube and on our private networking site. So I have a Mighty Network, which is a private network, almost like Facebook, but off of Facebook. And we have over 1,000 of our clients on there, sharing the book on there as well, little snippets here and there to let folks know that they can go buy the book, offering at a discount, that sort of thing.
Good. That's awesome. So you have a big marketing plan, which I think is key. A lot of authors will come to us and say, "I'm ready to publish my book," and then and what is it called? Spray and pray. Like hopefully
Yeah,
people buy it. No, you
right.
got to have a marketing plan. So I love that you guys have that marketing plan. And self-publishing KDP is great. Putting it out on there, self-publishing is good because it's all print on demand. You don't have to buy 100,000 books and put them in your garage unless you want to. I
I
always
did
tell
that the
people,
first time. Yeah, that's the first time.
yeah, I had a bunch of books. I ended up doing book signing and a few other things, so I give them away. So I had something to do with them. But a lot of times we tell our authors, if you're going to buy 500 books, make sure they've been sold first. So
That's right.
make sure you got that bulk order, or make sure that you have that speaking event or a book signing party. So you're not having a bunch of books sit in your garage for 10 years that you forget that they're there.
That's right. One of my clients, he just so happens to be a book author, and he's written some plays. He's big into Chicago history. When he writes a book, he sells that book, and he's an author. He's like
Yeah.
most authors, an introvert and more, but he gets out there. He's doing book nights, and he's at the coffee shops and the bars and the hot spots in Chicago history selling this book. And he did such a good job that recently a book publishing house, which was a small little local independent book publisher for Chicago, they offered him the publishing house for $1. And
Wow.
they said, you do such a good job. You're a best-selling author. You run the publishing house. You teach our other authors how to sell better, and we'll give you this whole business for $1. Wow.
Awesome.
So you
That's cool.
learn some tips. You never know where life's going to take you. This guy, now he's a publisher. It's
That's
super
awesome.
neat.
And all because he knows how to market a book, right? He knows how to
Yeah.
market and how to be out there. So I love that you're doing the podcast tour too, because being out there and being seen, that's how you're going to get your book sold, and that's how you're going to get more clients from your book. Getting the leads is being on podcast.
How many incredible ideas have died a slow death because the books never got sold, the book spines never got cracked open. You just need to spend twice as much time marketing your book as you do writing it.
Yes, I agree with that for sure. Yep, that's when it comes. And then to get those bulk purchases, finding the people, through the podcast or through other ways, because the people that you're being on the show, like your podcast interviewers, they could be your best strategic partner, right? And they might have a whole nother place. Like you have that little network, or not little, but 1,000 people in your network. That's a private network. And there's other ones like that, like network marketing groups, where they have book of the month club or something you can get on. And that's always a great way to market books as well.
Love it.
Yeah. We talked a little bit in the green room about white book covers. Tell us
You gave me a great tip.
did.
You gave me a great tip, and I can repeat it back to you if you want me
Yeah,
to,
go
because
for it.
guys, everyone should check out Jenn and her team, because she's already just leaving the candy in the lobby, giving us the best advice. So thank you, Jenn. But yeah, my newest book cover, you gave me some good advice, because it's a white book cover, which, as you said, stands out on the bookshelf. It sure does. But on Amazon, where most people might see it, it's on a white background, unless, of course, they're on dark mode. But
Yeah.
most 99% of people are going to see that screen with a white background on Amazon, and that just fades right in, making it not pop. And you came up with a good idea. Hey, Mark, make it bright orange, or put a gradient on that somewhere on the edges so that there's some improvement in visibility. And guess what? In the last 15 minutes, my book editor has already come up with a new, like a revised
Oh,
looking
he's
cover.
already emailed you back.
Yeah. And it's no longer white. It's now cool, beautiful looking, you might say beige, or maybe more of a warm gray. And it does pop a lot better off the white screen. So thank you for
Yeah.
the tip.
That's awesome. Yeah, we've actually had authors who really there's certain people who just want the white book cover. And it's like, okay, why don't we just create for the print copy that only, like, you're going to print them in like special edition type, right? Or you're going to
Yep.
put them in the bookstore or something, print only or print on demand. And then it's not white on Amazon or anywhere online. It's just white with, like, on your website or something, and you have a special way where you're presenting it, and then they have to click to order, and it's fulfilled a different way. Because that way you're still getting the white book covers. You can put it on the bookshelf if you have a local bookstore that wants to carry it, or if you're going to get it into Barnes and Noble, or that.
Yep.
I know they have local book signings, and sometimes at the Barnes and Noble, just talk to the manager and get in on their author palooza or whatever they have going on. That's a tip we love to tell our authors, because book covers really do matter, because people do judge a book by its cover. They do. Yeah. Awesome. Tell people where they can go to get your book and your website so they can learn more about your financial planning services.
Sure. The best place to get our brand new book, the one that's just about to come out in a few weeks, so your timing couldn't be better, Jenn, on the book cover advice, is newbankingsolution.com. So newbankingsolution.com. And if you're looking for a way as a business owner or an author to get rid of the banks in your business, that's the number one reason banks are the number one reason for bankruptcy among entrepreneurs. Then what if you could become your own source of financing, fire your banker, and become your own line of credit to your own business? So that's what the book in essence is about, among other things. So that's newbankingsolution.com.
Awesome. We'll go ahead and put that up in the show notes as well as your author page on Amazon so people can go and follow you there so they know when all your new books are coming out. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Thanks so much, Mark, for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, if you'll please subscribe and like this podcast, we'd love to hear your review. And we'd also like, if you want, you can go back and listen to Mark. He was on Elite Expert Insider as well. You can go check him out there on our other podcast. Hopefully we'll talk to you soon and have a great day.
Hey, are you looking to increase your revenue, build credibility, and elevate your brand? This podcast is brought to you by Elite Online Publishing, an innovative publishing and full spectrum marketing company. They will publish and market your book to make it a #1 bestseller. Becoming an author is the best way to market your business. So contact them at eliteonlinepublishing.com today. All of their authors become #1 bestsellers.